Welcome back to Fast Track from Greece. Now, the eagle-eyed film buffs amongst you may just recognise the extraordinary landscape in our next piece. The monasteries of Meteora were featured in the 1980s Bond movie For Your Eyes Only, and no wonder. The 24 monasteries perched somehow on the top of giant rock formations look like the stuff of fantasy. Fast Track's Theopis Skarlatos climbed up them to have a look.
Reaching upwards towards the sky, these magnificent rocks were formed around 60 million years ago. Towering above the small town of Kalambaka in central Greece, Meteora is one of the most popular attractions in the country. The UNESCO protected site is a 4 to 5 hour drive from Athens.
The last time I came to Meteora, I was just a little girl, and I remember the roads on the way up to the monasteries were so steep and so narrow I thought I'd never make it back alive. Just look at the drop.
But if you can brave the winding roads, there are some great places to stop on the way up.
It's amazing.
The name Meteora literally translates as rocks suspended in the air, and balanced on top of them are 24 monasteries. It's said that the first people who set up home here in the 9th century braved storms and fierce weather to escape persecution from the Turks.
The first to attempt it climbed up the rocks with huge difficulty. With their bare hands and some rope, they grabbed onto trees and the rocks, pulling themselves up. They made it to the top for one reason only, in search of tranquility and to feel closer to God.
This one here.
It's called Swiss cheese. You see, it's got lots of holes.
It's still unclear exactly how these age-old rock formations came to exist. Historian and writer Kostas Alexiadis took me through the two main theories.
Thessaly was a big lake, and the two mountains, Olympus and Kissavos, broke up, and all the water went to the Aegean Sea, leaving these rocks behind. The second view suggests that a big, long river was coming here for millions of years, formatting what we see today, knowing as Meteora.
If you're visiting Meteora, be prepared for an energetic climb. The hundreds of steps up to the monasteries are no easy feat.
You have to be one very determined traveller to make it to the top of the main monastery in Meteora, but once you get to the top, the views are all worth it.
As well as the Great Meteiron, 5 more monasteries are operational here. 2 are lived in by nuns.
To think that the place where I live is the same place that others were made saints makes me feel good, and that my prayers will reach God much quicker. The beautiful landscape lifts your spirits. You think about the wonderful things that God has created.
Hundreds of years ago, when the first communities came to live here in Meteora, there were no roads anywhere, so there was no other way to bring anything up or down from the monasteries apart from by using a net or a basket. Today, though, they use a machine like this because it's much easier.
Each monastery houses an impressive collection of Byzantine art dating back centuries, some of the most beautiful in the whole of Greece. Painting icons is still a skill that many of the monks and nuns continue to practice today, and it's a painstakingly slow process. You don't have to be religious to appreciate the beauty of Meteora. Even when the monastery is closed to visitors, there's still lots more to discover in the town below.
Kalambaka has lots to offer. You can stay over, eat good food, go on long walks, visit the chapels. You can even go rock climbing. Just once in your lifetime, you should come here and admire the rare and beautiful landscape.
Theopis Skarlatos with a bit of a cliffhanger. Now, a truly dramatic ending to the programme. The theatre at Epidurus dates back to the 3rd century BC, and it's one of a handful of Greek amphitheatres still staging productions today. In recent years, it's attracted the likes of Helen Mirren and later this month, Kevin Spacey. We travel to the Peloponnese to experience theatre as the ancient Greeks would have done.
My name is Pt2. I'm the lead actor and director of Irini, the play of Aristophanes and Epidavros.
My name is Platon Mavromoustagos. I am a professor of theatre studies at the University of Athens.
My name is Yorgos Loukos and I'm the artistic director of the Athens and Epidavros Festival.
I think that the theatre of Epidavros is one of the most beautiful surviving theatres from ancient times. I think that for people who are in Greece during the summer period, it is almost something like a ritual.
It's an amazing thing in the middle of nowhere. And, you know, it's the only theatre of that time that's still the way it was, where people used to come and perform major tragedies and comedies. There is a part of people coming because they want to visit the site, because an archaeological site you don't find everywhere, so they're coming to visit that, and because they're coming to visit the site, they stay and they watch the performance, even if sometimes, or most of the time, they don't understand the text.
What's so unique is the energy and the magic this place gives off. We're not directly from the ancient Greeks, but there is a connection. I feel there is something sacred about this place.
This theatre can hold about 20,000 spectators, but at the same time it's a very cozy theatre. It's like an intimate theatre. The other thing is that acoustics of this theatre is very special. There are many levels of acoustics and the actors know how to use this acoustics. Movement has to be different because if you are in the last row of this theatre, which is about 30 meters away, you have to act in a certain way that even the last row of spectators can get the message.
People are coming here to watch a performance for the last 2,500 years. So it's very exciting. It's also very exciting because many young people are coming and also many people from around the world. So they're discovering a part of the Greek civilization by watching the performance.
The subjects that they deal with in the plays are timeless. They are the big themes. The things that were funny or the things that were tragic remain the same then as now.
Slowly but steadily the festival changes its image. And we have not only performances of ancient drama, but also important performances from other groups. Recently we had the performances of also the Bridge Project with Ethan Hawke. And this is quite an interesting element because this theatre is a very different theatre and it has some specific norms. Challenging these norms and adapting performances to the situation of this theatre is something very, very interesting.
Now there's a new approach because new directors, they don't want to see it in a classical and conventional way, but they're trying to do different things.
My main goal is that the audience leaves the theatre happy and satisfied, that they enjoy it, and afterwards say, yes, I've seen a good performance. I want it to be remembered and to go down in history.
Some truly spectacular theatre from Epidurus here in Greece. And it's about time for me to bow out as well as we come to the end of the show. But do join us again next week when Rajan will be finding out why blockbuster exhibitions have got visitors all in a rage. And if you can't wait a whole week for another Fast Track fix, then check out our website at bbc.com/Fast Track. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook, and if that isn't enough, check out bbctravel.com, where this week's stories include tips on where to buy your holiday home, a nose around the Marquis de Sade Chateau, and a test drive on the Google Art project. So that should keep the culture vultures amongst you happy. But until next time, from me, Fiona Foster, and the rest of the team here in Greece, it's goodbye, or as the locals say, Yassas.